Welcome to TORAH Talk. I am your host, William Hall, broadcasting live out of Kingsland, Texas, USA, with another episode of TNT, the Twisted New Testament, with Rabbi Stuart Federow from Houston, Texas. Rabbi, welcome back to the show. We have missed you so much. Thank you for joining me again.
Always good to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yo, would you say whoa?
Yeah, I heard myself talk.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so I need to see if we actually picked up and gone. It looks like we are live. That's good. And we'll see what happens. Okay, but anyway, either way, we're still recording, as far as I can tell. Let's see. Hang on one moment. Yep, we are live. Okay, so I'm going to make a little note on Facebook right now, just to let everybody know. This is what I had to do with Rabbi Singer as well. Let's see. Actually, I'm just going to do this. Everybody knows where to find us. I'm just going to delete this and let the people find us on YouTube. Yep, there we go, because YouTube is working. Rabbi, have you logged into YouTube yourself and are seeing where chat could take place?
Yeah.
Good. Kelsey Lynn, good to see you. Timothy Wilson, J. Messi, Shalom, William, and Rabbi. He says, hello. Hey, I think Rabbi Stuart Federow is actually watching tonight. Oh, yeah. You're not listening. Okay, you're reading. Rabbi.
Yes, what?
I said, I think Rabbi Stuart Federow is actually watching tonight.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good thing. All right, cool. Well, very good. Very good. Really missed you. You've been very busy doing some activities out of town, traveling and stuff. And
yeah, we were in New York.
Give me some highlights. Give us all, first of all, tell everybody why.
You want to know the highlights?
First,
I'll tell you the highlights.
It's going to be quick, isn't it? Short and quick. Nothing to it.
Boy, is it going to be short and quick.
Okay, go ahead.
In New York, Marcy, my wife's grandson, was born with problems.
Oh.
He's now 6 months old. He's had two or maybe two surgeries.
Okay.
Thank God, and he's fine. He's doing great.
Baruch Hashem.
You're not kidding. Thank God. And so basically, what we did was we or Marcy babysat. And when Marcy was babysitting, I wasn't. I was either in my hotel, watching television, playing on my cell phone, sleeping,
recording TNT. Once.
No.
Well,
we did
that's
once. Right. Once we did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's all I did for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Now, the week before that was really fascinating.
I think that's the week I might have been referring to, because in my mind I was thinking, I totally forgot that you were there with your grandson. I totally skipped my brain.
Yep.
So I was thinking the week before that.
The week before that, I was with a group of counter missionaries who camp outside.
Man.
Believe it or not, it's called Messiah College in Messiah, Pennsylvania. That's the name of the town. And we are off campus. If we walk on campus, we get immediately arrested for trespassing.
Wow.
So we're off campus by about 100 feet. And as people go in and out, they see us. They know exactly who we are. They know exactly why we're there. And sometimes they'll walk off campus and come and talk to us. And we get people who want to argue. We get people who are asking questions but not getting their answers. That they don't get answers that feel right from the Messianics. And it's the Messianic Jewish Alliance of America International Convention in Messiah, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, right. I had gone to an MJAA meeting in Alabama one time. My dad had sent me there because he figured if I was going to teach in his Messianic group, he wanted me to kind of go to this little convention thing. And honestly, as a Messianic, I thought it was really cool, man. You know, but now it's like, looking back, I'm thinking, wow, what was I thinking? You know, but that's how it goes, though. You know, I mean,
yep.
You know, what really cracks me up? It's really not a crack.
What's that?
But it's like so many people that I used to interact with. That doesn't happen so much anymore, but it does still happen frequently. And people will tell me during our dialogue, they're like, well, they use the idea of the blind, but they don't come out and say you're blind. So because we've discussed, you know, what does that mean hundreds of times, but they'll say that I'm closed-minded, right? But the interesting thing about that is if you have two people, right? Let's say that there's 10 options, okay? And you have one person who's explored all 10 options, and the other person who's only explored 5, right? And then the guy who's explored 10 options disagrees with the 5 guy, and the 5 guy says that you're closed-minded. That doesn't make any sense. If anybody's closed-minded, it's the guy who's only been exposed to 5 things and who refuses to go beyond that.
Right.
You know, and
that's
so
a good point. It's very true.
And it's really it's almost so nonsensical that I just don't even know what to say, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, just like a college student arguing with the kindergartner. And I actually got in trouble for saying that one time. But hey, if you want to send me hate mail, send it to Rabbi Stuart Federow at hotmail.com. Oh man. Okay, the phone lines are open. Your number is on your screen, 855-95-BIBLE. That's for you on the go, 855-952-4253. And I don't want to hear Rabbi Federow call in, so somebody else probably should do that for us.
Well, I'm responding to Timothy Wilson's quick question. He says, maybe a quick and easy question. Are Noachides forbidden from having mezuzahs on their doorposts?
Oh, I hope not, because I got some on mine.
Well, frankly, the whole Noachide thing is not my bailiwick. It's not my area of expertise. But I think within the Ger community, they say, you have to choose what's meaningful to you. My worry, Timothy, is not on whether or not Noachides are forbidden or not forbidden to have a mezuzah. My worry is, are people who are not going to know the distinctions between people with mezuzahs who are Jewish and people who have mezuzahs who are not Jewish, are they going to understand that when they see somebody who is not Jewish as a mezuzah on their doorpost and does things that Jews don't do, is it going to cast aspersions, as they say, on the Jewish community because they'll see someone who looks like a Jew, acts like a Jew, has a mezuzah on their doorpost like a Jew, but is contradicting Jewish law, even if they don't know it.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, oh, look, all those Jews are hypocrites because that guy with a mezuzah on his doorpost is doing something I know Jews aren't supposed to do.
You know what? That's a really, really, really excellent point. And so
it's called Mariad Ayin. It's called faking out the eye. It's called making something appear to be good when it's not, or making something appear to be bad when it's not.
Okay, so let me put. Okay, let's spin it a little bit. We're gonna make me as the target here instead of Timothy, meaning that. See, I live in a remote country area, very small town. It's unincorporated, and there's literally no Jews anywhere within an hour and a half from here in any direction. And so I do have a mezuzah on my doorpost. We were planning on converting to Judaism. I've got them on every doorway in my house except for the bathroom, of course. So for me, I've justified it because no Jews are ever around here. However, if I lived in Austin, in the bigger city, I probably would take it off my front door, but I would still put it inside the house in the bedroom doors, because then the only people coming into my house are ones I would invite. So am I wrong in that angle, in that view? Is there a better way for me to do that? Okay.
No, okay. Look, with all due respect to Timothy, I know you, William.
Yes, sir.
You're not going to have a barbecue in front of your house 10 feet away from the mezuzah where you're making bacon, okay, where you're cooking a great big pig with an apple in its mouth, okay?
Yeah, right.
I don't believe Timothy's going to do that either.
Right.
But my point is that there are subtle things that you may or may not know about that you might be doing that you're not supposed to do, or not doing that you're supposed to do. And it makes the Jewish people, because they will not distinguish between somebody who is Jewish and who's not Jewish if they're both having a mezuzah on their doorpost.
Right, got it.
And, Jay Messi asks, what is a mezuzah? A mezuzah is the container that is put on the doorposts of the house that contained within it biblical passages, Deuteronomy, Numbers, that were commanded to put on their doorposts. Deuteronomy chapter 6, read verse 4 and following. Begins with the Hero Israel, the Eternal is our God, the Eternal is one, and then goes on, you shall love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. You may know that paragraph, but keep reading, and it says, you'll write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates.
Right.
And they're physical reminders of a spiritual relationship. You know,
Right.
human beings need their spiritual reminders.
Perfect.
But it indicates that people inside the home are Jews, or it should indicate that. And my worry is doing something that indicates you're Jewish when you're not, and then doing something that transgresses Jewish law, which will make everybody say, oh, see, I told you the Jews are all hypocrites, as
Right.
it says in their Christian New Testament.
That is a great point for sure. Okay, let's take this caller, and then we'll kind of come back and revisit what we're talking about now. Caller, welcome to the show. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Jay from Alabama.
Jay, my man, how are you? Welcome back to the show.
Good. Rabbi Federow, I'm not finding any verses in the Tanakh about if we're allowed to vote or not. What does God say if we can vote in presidential elections, governor's elections, and so forth?
Huh?
I don't think I remember anything in the Bible that says we can use a dishwasher to wash our dishes or a washing machine to wash our clothes. Would you therefore say, since it's not in the Bible, we can't do that either?
Right. Well, to go along with Jay, to play on his side, is there any concepts in Judaism
in Judaism, yes, but
let me back up.
You didn't have democracy, so you didn't have voting in the days of the Torah.
Okay, let's back up. Is there any concept in the Torah itself that would suggest that we cannot participate in voting for a president that's not Torah observant?
There is
nothing. And listen, guys.
Say again, Jay?
I'm going to hang up and listen if that's okay.
Okay, brother. Thank you for calling in, man. That's a really cool question. Thanks. Bye.
All right, but to answer his question, there's nothing that I know of that would preclude someone from voting.
Okay.
But we haven't had that many Jews run for president.
Right.
And non-Jews aren't commanded to be Shabbat observant.
Right. Good
so
point.
Why would we? It makes no sense to say we can't vote for someone who isn't Jewish, who's not commanded to keep the Sabbath. We can't vote for them because they're not keeping the Sabbath.
Yeah. Right. Good point. Okay, cool.
So,
right.
Look, the Torah, I can't think offhand, real quick about anything that even remotely refers to this. But Judaism, certainly, we're supposed to promote the government.
Sure.
We have prayers, while the Torah is out to say, to pray for the government under which we are, under whom we're ruled. Pray for the, country in which you live.
Okay.
So, and if Jews don't take part when they're allowed to in the democratic process, then why should the people who vote in Congress, why should anybody in the White House care what Jews think? Because they don't vote. So yes, I think it's a necessity that Jews be very active politically and make sure that their Jewish morals and ethics and Torah values are made very clear to the candidates and to the people who win the office, so that they'll know that there are people out there who's going to say, look, if you're not following what we want, we're going to vote for the other guy next time.
Sure.
This is how politics works.
Okay.
So that's just me.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to play, I'm just going to kind of go through a couple of these sound clips. Unless somebody calls in, if you want to call in and ask a question, definitely do. 855-952-4253. The phone lines are open. Meanwhile, I'm going to play a little sound clip here.
Yeah, Rich, Mordecai was pretty political. That's exactly correct.
What was the statement you're reading?
So for that matter was Esther. So was Yael. So was Deborah, the prophetess. Yes, we're very involved with politics, because if we don't, it'll sneak up behind the Jewish community and kill us.
Okay, now tell all the future viewers why you said what you just said. I know you're reading off of YouTube chat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, the YouTube channel has a live chat area, and Rich Sainer reminds everybody that Mordecai was pretty political, and that's very true.
Mm-hmm. Right.
By the way, going back to an early topic, Rich also says most sponsoring rabbis I know want a candidate to have mezuzah on their door and in their homes. Yeah, because they're candidates.
Oh, yeah, right.
They're on the way to doing something.
Right.
But the original question was just about the normal B'nai Noach.
Right.
So.
Very true.
Okay, so play what you're going to play.
Okay, I haven't listened to any of these, so this is all going to be fresh ears for all of us here.
Okay.
Hello. I don't know if I have the correct number or not. If this is the the insurance.
You know what's funny? They leave these messages even after they hear me say, "Welcome to Tanakh. This is Tanakh Talk." You know, if you're calling for this show, and they still ask for insurance.
No, nobody listens anymore.
Oh, they don't read either. Okay, I know this is.
What? I didn't hear you. I wasn't listening. Sorry.
Hello, sir. I'm calling from United Kingdom, London. I watch your videos in the YouTube, and I'd like to ask some questions to Rabbi. Can you please give some information in YouTube site? What time your program starts? How can we read?
Okay.
Yeah, hi, this is Lance Weathers. I'm interested in Medishare.
See, another Medishare. That's so funny.
Your telephone number.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Oh, yours is Bible. Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm interested in your
last 5
program.
digits are Bible, spelled Bible, and yes, that's the number for the Medishare.
See, there was another one right there. I'm interested in your program. Who's giving out their number, and who are they giving the number to? People. I mean, all these people are leaving these messages, and they have no clue what they're leaving a message for.
Hi, if this is the Medishare
is like an insurance.
Yeah, this is weird. I need to tell them to fix that. Hang on.
Oh, hey, William. This is Dennis O'Cullough, William, out in Central Virginia, Kent Store. I've spoken to you before. I do have a question. It's really been bothering me, and I'm looking for some answers here on Isaiah 56. And in Isaiah 56, early on, they speak of the foreigner, and sometimes it's translated as a stranger, and it seems like it's a...
Okay, let's take the caller, and we'll revisit this.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah. Caller, welcome to the show. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Caller, can you hear us?
Yes.
Hi. What is your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Corpus Christi, Texas. And Janine Boston.
Oh, hi.
Hey, that's down the block from me.
Hi, Janine. How are you? It's good to hear your voice again.
I'm doing okay.
Good.
You're talking about the Benuza on the door post?
Yes, ma'am.
I heard one of the rabbis saying that was only for people that kept their house kosher.
Right.
Is that true?
Well, as Rabbi was saying earlier tonight, for Orthodox Jews or Jewish people who are practicing Jews, keep it there. But the people who are not Jewish, who are actually going through, or however the case may be, going through a conversion process. So if a person's going through an Orthodox conversion, they're being trained by the rabbis, chances are they will probably have their house fairly kosher, I would say. So, Rabbi, you're going to have to finish up on this question. That's a good point.
Judaism, in my personal opinion, I don't think Judaism has ever been an all or nothing religion. I'm told that I'm heavily influenced by the Hasidic community on this issue, but it's not all or nothing. It's not if I don't do this commandment, I can't do this commandment. They're commandments, and each commandment is on its own. It has its own merit, its own reward, and its own effect on the person who does that commandment. Just because a person may not keep kosher, that means they can't keep the commandment of having a mezuzah on the doorpost. I'm talking the Jewish community now. I'm not talking the non-Jewish community. But what the rabbis were saying is that if you have something on the outside that indicates that the people inside are Jewish, okay, and then they bring in pork dinners, it casts aspersions on all Jews, even though the people inside the home are not Jewish. So they're worried about the same thing I'm worried about, and that is the appearance that the people inside the home who have the mezuzahs on the doorposts are Jewish when they are seen by the public not doing Judaism or not doing Jewish things, even though it's not really incumbent upon them to do them. So,
that's okay. No, I think
right,
she knew that you had her question under wraps, so that's good. She just probably just.
All right, William, did you catch what I was saying though?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, it makes sense.
All right,
of course, it doesn't matter what I think, but that is what I think, though.
But just because a person doesn't keep one commandment,
yeah,
doesn't mean they're not allowed to keep other commandments. Every commandment has its own merit to the person who does it, its own reward for the person who does it, and its own effect on the person who does it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're independent from the other, usually independent from all the other commandments. I had a woman, when I was giving a lesson, teaching at this camp, and I was talking about this. And my analogy, William, as you very well know from other shows we've done and from my book, I use driving as an example. And that would be, gee, I accidentally ran that stop sign, so I have to pull the car over and never drive again because I made a mistake, and therefore I can't drive.
Right, exactly.
No, you correct the one mistake you did, you start doing the commandment you're supposed to be doing, and then start driving,
right,
and then start going on with your life. But the idea of I can't do this mitzvah because I don't do that mitzvah. I can't drive. I didn't go 20 miles an hour. I went 23 miles an hour in a school zone. So therefore, I can't drive ever again because I've broken the law. And therefore, it doesn't make sense. Jewishly, it doesn't make sense.
Right. On another note, I was thinking about something as you were talking. Oftentimes whenever we're having a bad day, for example, it's like, you come home, you get mad, you're throwing stuff because something really just got you. And then, you've got these opportunities to do good deeds after that, but you tend to push them off because you feel like you're already screwed up, so why even bother, right? You may not think that connects much, but, man, it connects with me every time that scenario pops into place. It's like once you make a bad choice, it's just like a momentum, a domino effect. So it's much better to just stop it and say, you know what, I don't care if it does any good or not. I'm going right back into the mitzvahs, and hopefully that'll help reprogram my brain. And usually it does. It'll put you right back on the right track again. So
I agree.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Let's we'll take on we'll actually finish playing out this message unless somebody else calls in. It's going to unfortunately, it's going to start over, but it's okay. It's only a minute long, so.
Oh, hey, William. This is Kent Store. Question. It's really been bothering me, and I'm 56.
Okay, hold on. I'm skipping forward because I realize I can actually drag the timeline.
And on Isaiah 56.
Okay, Isaiah 56.
And in Isaiah 56, early on, they speak of the foreigner, and sometimes it's translated as a stranger, and it seems like it's a Nikar, Nekar, or a Nokri. And I'm wondering if, hold on a second.
Okay, I'm reading it here as well. I'll put it up on your screen in just a moment. Let's see. There's only like 13 verses or 14.
Yeah, I was looking for the Hebrew on it, but I can't find it right now.
That was kind of weird. It sounded like him and I were talking just now. Okay, he might have
56.
the wrong.
Let me call you back. Bye.
Yeah, he may have had the wrong chapter. Did you find it, Rabbi?
Well, the problem is that
Sons
I don't
of the
think he's talking about
Stranger.
chapter 56 because 56 has no verses above 12.
Okay. Well,
and he was talking about 14, so he may have got mixed up, or maybe the numbering in what I'm using is
look at 56.
Messed up, or who knows what.
Look at 56, verse 6.
See, now that's what I thought he meant.
Okay, and I think
also
it probably
the
is.
aliens that join themselves to the Eternal to minister to Him and to love the name of the Eternal, to be His servants, everyone that keeps the Sabbath from profaning it and holds fast by my covenant, even them will I bring into my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be acceptable upon mine altar, for my house shall be a house of prayer for all peoples.
Okay, so let's see. I'm looking for.
What?
Look at verse 6 in the Hebrew and tell me. Let's see, King James. Let me make sure. Okay, it says also for this. Nochri, maybe that's the word right there.
Well, it's the
stranger.
Noun, not the adjective. Nochri is an adjective. It's like Jewish instead of Jew.
Oh, interesting.
This is Hanachar.
Okay, so this
Nochri is of or like a Nachar, but Nachar is the noun.
Okay, I see the message.
In other words, like I could say an alien tree, or I can talk about an alien. I could talk about an outsider.
Right.
A new, strange. How's that? A strange tree, or I can talk about a stranger.
Right.
Okay, so this is the noun the noun.
Okay, I found the second call where he called in. Let me play it.
Okay.
Yeah, William, hi. This is Dennis O'Cola again out in Kent Store, Virginia. In Isaiah 56:3.
56:3. Okay.
It reads, "Let not the foreigner,
The son of the stranger,
has joined himself to the Lord say, the Lord will surely separate me from his people," and so on. And the question is, it's Hebrew 52:36, and that is the Nikar. It could also be Nokri, Nocri, translated in the English. And I had a conversation with a Messianic fella yesterday, and I didn't have the answer, but I thought he might be wrong. I don't know. So, but I'm hoping that you could ask one of your rabbis that you speak to about this. And who is this foreigner, this Nokri? Is it? I have this sense, because of Jeremiah 2:21, that it might be an Israelite who is coming back, as opposed to all Gentiles, as my Messianic friend seems to imply. So if you could give me a call, it's
okay, so let's just cover it this way. Isaiah 56:3. Who is the son of the stranger? Who's the stranger in this context, Rabbi?
And the answer to his question is yes. And I mean, no, seriously, because there are multiple ways of interpreting this. Okay.
Right.
The Ben Nochri. Okay. I'm pretty sure. Wait, let me make sure I just said that.
That's
correctly.
verse 3.
Yeah, Ben Hanachar.
Yeah, Ben Hanachar.
Okay. It can be referring to people who were taken. Remember, Isaiah 56 is post-exile.
Okay.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's post-exile. So it could be people who were taken away in the Babylonian exile who were made into eunuchs. So it could be Jews, like he's saying, possibly coming back.
Interesting.
Okay, but the word is Nochri, it's not Ger. So it's not like a totally non-Jew. So
right.
There are multiple ways to interpret this, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so but it could also be someone who was never Jewish, who sees Judaism, likes Judaism, and wants to is slowly easing themselves into following a Jewish lifestyle. Maybe they're on the process of conversion. Okay,
gotcha.
so
right.
There are multiple ways to interpret this, and multiple ways to understand it. So I honestly would have to take a look at the commentaries and see how it's treated.
Right, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Okay, but the point that he's making, okay, is valid. This is post-exile, and it could be a Jew coming back to Judaism. You know, remember something, and this is highly debatable, but some have offered the idea that if you read Daniel very carefully, Daniel was one of the people living in the Promised Land who was hauled off into the exile and who was made part of the eunuchs.
Okay. Do me a favor. Before we push this aside, I don't want to push it aside too quickly. Do me a favor. Read from verse 1 to verse 3 or 4 or 5, whatever you choose, and then tell me how a Messianic could use this to his benefit, or a Christian.
Okay, which one?
Isaiah 56, verse 1 through 6 or 7. Because this is, he actually quoted 56:3.
Thus says the Eternal, keep ye justice and do righteousness, for my salvation is near to come and my favor to be revealed. Happy is the one who does this, and the Son of Man that holds fast by it, that keeps the Sabbath from profaning it and keeps his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of an alien that has joined himself to the Eternal speak, saying, the Eternal will surely separate me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. Okay, what does that mean? It means he's not going to have kids because he's a eunuch.
Right.
So like a dry tree, he's shriveled up. Okay, going on with verse 4. For thus says the Eternal concerning the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths and choose the things that please me and hold fast by my covenant. Even unto them will I give in my house, and within my walls a monument and a memorial better than sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting memorial that shall not be cut off. Also the aliens that join themselves to the Eternal, to minister unto him, and to love the name of the Eternal, to be his servants, every one that keeps the Sabbath from profaning and holds fast by my covenant. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain, to make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be acceptable on my altar, for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Let me tell you how I understand this.
Okay.
You know, which doesn't mean a whole hill of beans, but I'm just telling you anyway. Okay, this is all about conversion. This is about people who are recognizing that God is God, and they're starting to keep Judaism, Jewish laws. Okay, and they're basically becoming Jews. That's how I have always understood this. And when he says, "My house shall be a house of prayer for all people," it doesn't mean, oh, you can come into my house, the temple or the synagogue, and pray to your Zeus.
Right.
It's assuming that you're going to pray to God, that you're in the house of God in order to pray to God.
Yeah.
You know, it's not saying, you know, come into my house, you know, and pretend you're Jewish, and meanwhile, when you think of God, you're really thinking of Jesus or Yeshua or Yahshua or Yahushua or whatever, Yahushu or whatever they're calling him this week. Okay, it means you're thinking of the Jewish God. That's why you're in God's house.
Yeah.
So to me, this is basically the aliens that join themselves to the Eternal to minister to God and to love the name of the Eternal, to be his servants. Everyone that keeps the Sabbath and holds fast by the covenant is describing converts. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep. Right. Right.
Okay. Now, of course, the Messies are going to take a look at this, and they're going to use it to validate and justify non-Jews doing Judaism and calling themselves Jews for Jesus. Oh, sorry, Messianic Jews, Hebrew Christians, again, whatever they're calling themselves this week.
True.
So they're going to say, well, this gives me permission to keep the you know, to pretend I'm a Jew and make, you know, put on my costume of my tzitzit hanging on my belt buckle and my you know, wear a yarmulke all the time. Put on my costume like for Halloween so I can, hey, I'm a Jew. You know, like a little kid saying, hey, I'm Batman. Okay, this is giving me permission, and that's not how I see it at all, of course. And again, I'll have to look more closely at the commentaries. I haven't seen them, and I don't study everything all the time, so I haven't looked at this in a long time.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I see there's a lot of activity on the YouTube page. That's kind of cool. I like to see.
Oh, wait. Let me get back then.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, I'm going to keep looking for... I'm going to see if I can put this somewhere where it's helpful. I figured since my Facebook Live thing crashed on the computer, I figured I'd do an inside edition for the viewers out there who want to spot in. You can see my little phone in front of my face right now.
Mitch FTD said we had some haters yesterday. I said haters. He said mega trolls.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Apparently people coming on and being really obnoxious. Okay.
Yep. Yep. So, okay. So let me go here. I'm going to play another while you're doing your thing. I'm going to actually play another.
Well, go ahead.
Phone clip or so, unless somebody calls in. You guys need to call in. I'm saying, right? Okay. So here we go. Let's go straight down here. 122. Let's see what this is. Probably a Medicare again.
Hi, Rabbi.
Oh, there we go.
Tovia. My name is Ferry. I'm calling from the Netherlands, but as you
Netherlands, that's cool.
might guess, I've come from Jakarta, where you are living now.
Calling for Rabbi Singer, I guess.
I don't have any difficult question. I have maybe a silly question.
Well, guess what? We're going to take that call.
Right when he gets to his question, the phone rings.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, welcome to the show. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Hi. It's David from London.
David, how are you, brother? How are you feeling, man? I'm glad to hear your voice again. Last time I heard your voice was actually on a Jason Spiritual Babies and Jono a video they had up, which was very, very interesting. Yeah, my wife and I were both listening to it last night.
That may have been another David.
Oh, is this not? Oh, okay.
I've called this show a few times.
Okay, well, you sound just like a David husband on who is actually Mordecai David. You sound like a splitting image of this guy, so I apologize. David, welcome to the show again. Please tell us your question.
Yes, so I wanted to know what Rabbi Federow's opinions and thoughts are on Meir Kahana, or Rabbi Meir Kahana.
Meir Kahana, I'm not sure I've heard of that. What is that, Rabbi?
Yeah.
Boy, did you ask the wrong person.
Oh, okay. Right.
I think he was fantastic. I think he was dead on. I think that Israel made a mistake not listening to him. I think that a lot of times our own niceness gets us in trouble. Okay, I think that, you know, how long, how often are we supposed to tolerate the intolerable? Okay, so if you're expecting me to say something about Meir Kahana, that he's a horrible, racist person, whatever, nope, not going to hear that from me, sorry.
Gotcha, wow. I don't even know who the guy is, to be honest with you.
Let me tell you who he is, okay? Mayor Kahana was
David, don't hang up yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Rabbi, hang on. We'll let David finish talking. David, what were you saying?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I agree. I think he was a great, very, very great guy.
That's cool.
There's lots of YouTube clips with him as well, and having debates with people and stuff is really good.
Nice.
But yeah, go on. I just wanted to tell you, I'm not one of those people who thinks he was a racist and a terrible person and so on. I think he's very great. But anyhow, yeah, please continue about what your view as well.
Okay, great. Hey, thank you for calling in. Really appreciate that. Thanks. Good to hear your voice again. Okay, bye. Yeah. I'm telling you, a spitting image audio-wise of David Mordecai David. He's going to watch this and say, wow, that really does sound like me. I guarantee it. Watch. Okay, Rabbi, tell me who this guy, not
Kelsey
David.
Lynn, excuse the interruption.
Sure,
Kelsey
sure.
Lynn, you are exactly correct, and that's a great reference. Those who are kind to the cruel, in the end, will be cruel to the kind.
Very true.
By the way, that's a biblical concept, and
yeah.
I think that's part of the Torah reading we read for the high holidays. I'll have to be more careful and look through it more carefully coming up. I think it's in one of the Haftarot. But at any rate, the point is that's exactly how I look at things. You know, we have to, yeah, at any rate.
Gotcha.
Mayor Kahana, to answer your question, William, was considered a radical, I don't know what, in Israeli politics. He advocated for removing from Israeli territory every single man, woman, child who was not Jewish.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. He basically took a very, 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 very hard line against the Muslim. Mitch FTD says H started the JDL. I'm not sure who H is. I thought Kahana was part of that when he was in the U.S., but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure who H is. He was murdered, and I don't remember who or how or what anymore, but I think that goes back to the 80s, or maybe I think it was the 80s. Murdered.
Whoops, hold on.
And I don't remember.
Now that I've done this, I have no idea how to pause it. Hang on.
Anymore, but
dang, there we go. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I apologize.
You know, he took a very hard line of biblical verses. You know, where it said the Jews are supposed to own the land from the northern river to what is effectively, I believe, the Nile, but I'm not sure.
Right.
I don't remember what it says. But whatever that property was, okay, he believed that wholeheartedly. I believe, well, I'm not sure if he was a rabbi or not, but I thought he was. I don't remember that much. This really does go back to the 80s. But a lot of what he said always made a lot of sense to me.
Interesting.
But I've always been a more radical hawk than a dove.
Okay, I'm going to throw obviously a question at you that's not this topic related, but it has to do with sacrifices.
Okay.
There's 7 main, if I'm not mistaken, there's 7 different types of sacrifices mentioned in Tanakh. Is that
Yep.
pretty much in line, right?
I believe so,
Of
yes.
those 7 different categories of sacrifices and offerings, how many of those 7 are actually dedicated for sin?
Okay, it depends. It depends on how you want to look at it.
Okay.
In other words, a guilt offering is not a sin offering.
Okay.
Okay, and a sham is not a chet. Okay, but presumably if a person feels the guilt for which they're making the offering, it's because they acknowledge they did something that was wrong.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So
But by
sometimes
design.
a sham and a chata
Okay,
kind of go hand in
describe
hand.
what the Hebrew terms you're saying. Like chatat would be a sin offering, and a sham. What is a sham?
Guilt offering.
Okay, so as you mention these Hebrew words, be sure to clarify what it is that those mean. 'Cause
You know, I always, William, every time I talk to you, I always second guess myself. I always say, no, wait, is that right? Did I get it mixed up? You know, maybe a sham is the guilt, is the sin, and a sham. Okay, so I
right. That's okay.
I always second guess myself, but I'm
That's
pretty
okay.
sure that's correct.
That's okay. The reason why I'm asked because you know the whole concept of Christianity is for every sin you have to have blood. You know, and it's like
nonsense.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. Well, you know what? That's we are not stopping 10 minutes before an hour's over. Somebody better call
By the way,
in.
you know, there's an interesting characteristic of this that I'm just fascinated by. And when Tovia Singer was in Houston, and you and I saw him together.
Yes.
He brought up that it's just haunting me. That just keeps. It's like every time I think about it, it's just amazing. And that is, who is the merciful God?
Yeah.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, actually, I brought that up. The whole concept of the New Testament says that Jesus is the merciful one, but in the Old Testament, God is like, "What do you mean blood sacrifice?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but
who said I needed this of you? Yes.
Right.
Jeremiah. Right. But so you know what I'm talking about. He said that he asked the question, who is the merciful God? The merciful God that says, I demand the blood. You got to give me the blood. Blood. Even if it's somebody who is innocent.
Yes.
Or the God who says, look, I see you're upset over the sin. I see you're really, really sorry for it. You're forgiven.
Yeah. Right.
Now go continue and have a happy life and don't sin again.
Right. Okay.
I just love that. Every time the whole thing about sacrifice comes up, I always think about that.
I think that's great. Okay, let's take this caller. There's actually 2 people calling in. One will just have to wait, I suppose. So let's take this caller. Caller, welcome to the show. Please tell me your name, where you're calling from.
Hello, William?
Yes.
How are you?
How are you? Who's this?
This is Jacob. Good. You're just breaking up a little bit. I'm sorry. I can hear you.
That's okay.
But,
go ahead.
Breaking up is hard to do.
Excellent show, guys. And I just heard you. I'm a late comer, so I hope I'm not going to repeat anything. But
that's okay.
And Vayikra, Leviticus, I think 2 something that poor people can bring flour.
Oh yes,
not,
beautiful.
Blood or not. And plus, it's for I'm sure you already covered unintentional sins, and plus throughout the Torah and the Tanakh it says that people should change and repent and numerous times. So it's kind of like a mantra they have to make it. They try to make it sound like it's ridiculous that animals could somehow absolve people from sins. It's like I hear that all the time. So I'm sure you guys do it too, but. It's good you're explaining that, and really good show. Just keep up. Actually, you 2 are my favorite together. So just keep up.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Hopefully some more. My live chat, for some reason, my live chat won't work. I don't know why.
Really?
But yeah, I'll try to get back on there. But I'll listen to your show and I'll be quiet.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a great reminder.
Okay. Have a good week, guys.
Okay. You too, brother. Thanks,
you
man.
You too. Thank you.
One of my favorite areas about the whole thing in fact, the very first go-to area of Tanakh that I go to about blood sacrifices and stuff is actually with Jonah. You know,
Right.
there was never any sacrifices given, none commanded, and God simply forgave them because He saw that they were serious.
Repented of their sins. They stopped doing the bad. They started doing the good. They confessed their sins.
Yes.
They fasted, and God forgave them.
Right on, right on.
And what do we do coming up in a couple of months, month and 6 weeks, whatever?
Yes,
sir. For Yom Kippur.
Amen.
Okay,
yeah.
we fast. We pray all day. We cry mightily to God. Okay, hopefully we change our ways, please God.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. And what do we read in the afternoon on Yom Kippur?
Jonah. Very good. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. All right. Well, cool. Well, I tell you what, we are getting close, but I still don't want to hang up yet. It's been
there we go.
It's
John,
been too long. What are you reading?
Times of sin are chatat, unintentional. I think it's a sham, not a shot, but wickedness and shot, open rebellion. Thank you, John.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay.
Hi, wil'Liam. It's Pinchas Nissenson calling from Canada. I have a question about halav and basar. I know that till about...
okay, so halav and basar. Basar is flesh. What is...
milk and meat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. I knew that sounded too familiar. Okay, got it. Okay, so do you want to skip this one or you want to let it play?
I don't care. I don't know what he's asking.
Okay, well, it's a milk and meat question. It's orthodox. Do you want to let it play or do you want to skip the question?
Well, let it play. We got,
okay.
All right, nobody else is calling in.
Okay.
If I don't, look, William, you know me by now. If I don't know the answer, I'll say, I don't know.
Yeah. True. Very good. And, of course, my view, of course, is to lean fully towards the orthodox answers on everything. To be on the safe side. So, okay.
Mine too. Every time somebody asks me a question, I will give them the orthodox answer.
Beautiful.
And then if and when, which is not as often as people think, that Reform or Conservative disagree, I will tell them what the disagreement is and why.
Nice. Very good. I love it. Okay, here we go.
We have not domesticated animals that...
I'm going to back it up just a touch. Hang on.
It's Pinchas Nissenson calling from Canada. I have a question about halav and basar. I know that till about 6,000 years ago, we have not domesticated animals that we could benefit from milk. So the tradition was at that time, while we were started using milk, we used them in clay pots, which actually could contain milk in the clay itself. Thus, if you did not keep separate pots, you would get milk contamination. Now, in the Torah, I don't remember exactly the chapter, Al tevashel gedi b'chalav imo mentioned 3 times. And the very interesting context is just before it says Al tevashel gedi b'chalav imo, it gives that there is a pasuk where it describes not selling that meat roadkill to Jews, but you are allowed to sell it to non-Jews. And right away, after this pasuk, it says, Al tevashel gedi b'chalav imo. Now, in my opinion, it sounds like it has more to do with being honest and kind than with prohibition on eating meat with milk. And I also think that the tradition actually is much older, and it comes from the fact that we use clay vessels that would actually absorb milk into the clay. Thank you.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, he's being honest about it. He's giving his own opinion. And his own opinion, actually, part of what he said made me think of my own opinion that I used to use was I used to think that the milk and meat laws with the whole thing had to do with God's kindness to the animals. Don't cook a kid in its mother's milk. I mean, it's like don't kill them, because there's actually one says don't take the bird and the egg shoo the bird away, don't take them both. That
shoo
sort of
the mother bird away if you're taking the
eggs.
Yeah.
So it's like
don't
a weird.
Kill them both on the same day.
So there's like a weird perversion there, and so and it's like even when you do take a calf, you can't take him unless it's past 8 days old. So the mother, and so they can do or however long it takes to wean the animal or whatever the case may be. And there's a lot of kindness that God extends to all the animals. And so my opinion of the milk and meat originally was, this is before I studied it out and before I really even cared what Judaism taught. I was just trying to understand it, and I was thinking, well, it kind of makes sense, if this was the case. But that was the limit of it, and of course now I give, I give all my opinions over to the rabbis at this point, because they know this better than I do. So, so what is your?
All right. Well, let me tell you, I don't like taking Jewish law, the commandments, and breaking them down to science, and trying to make science the reason why God was making these commandments of the Jews. Okay, and I know what he's talking about. Okay, clay pots were very porous, and if you had milk or milk products on them, how is cheese made? Cheese is made with bacteria.
Okay.
Yeast is a bacteria. What the green or blue or whatever you call it, the blue green of cheese now I forgot the name of the cheese. Blue cheese. Yeah, blue cheese, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it's called? Yeah. Okay. All right. What is that? That's bacteria. That's what makes the flavor of the cheese. So there is inherently bacteria of some kind in cheeses. And the cheese will get in the porous, the microscopic holes of the plate or whatever. And then you're putting meat on top of it, and meat is a medium for bacteria because the juices. So, but he's missing the point. He even mentioned something getting close to what the point is, but then he dropped it, and that is that there's something going on there with morality and ethics, but he doesn't take it all the way. Okay, keeping kosher is not the ancient example of the Food and Drug Administration. Okay, keeping kosher wasn't for purposes of health, it was purposes of holiness. What is holy? Holy means set apart, different, distinct. We distinguish, okay? And the purpose of the kosher laws, including not boiling a baby goat in its own mother's milk, was for holiness, to make us different from the pagans that were around us.
Because they were doing that, right?
Yeah, they were literally they saw great magic, ooh, wow, about the milk that's supposed to give the life to the calf, takes the life by boiling it alive in its own mother's milk. And they saw great magic in that, okay? Right. And God comes along and says, that's gross and disgusting. I don't want you Jews to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, but and he's getting close to another thing, but he's not there already. Okay, and wil'Liam, don't hang up on me for saying this.
Okay.
But with all due respect to our sex, women get this better than men do.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree.
But milk is life-giving.
Right.
Milk represents life. Meat is dead. And Judaism has this thing about mixing life with death.
Interesting. I've never heard of that.
Okay, and so the rabbis see this verse in the Bible, and they may have clearly understood it was talking about a pagan practice, but that's not all they see in it. They see the wisdom of God in it, that life and death really need to be separate.
Right.
Judaism believes in differences. Okay, Havdalah on Saturday night to mark the end of the Sabbath, is all about differences. Okay, we acknowledge there are true differences in the world. There really are differences between men and women. There really are differences between humans and other animals.
Sure.
Okay, and there's a difference between life and death. So you don't mix life with death, and so you keep milk and milk products, which represents life and life-giving, away from dead, which is, we call things, and I know we've talked about this before, we talk about things like, why are they called Big Macs or Quarter Pounders? What are we supposed to call them? Ground up roasted muscle tissue of a cow?
Agree. Pink slime.
We give them names. We give them names in order to, separate ourselves from the fact that we are eating chopped up, ground up muscle tissue of cows.
Yeah, very true.
Okay. Well, we're supposed to be very cognizant of what we eat as Jews. As we read the Bible and we see, like you just pointed out, about all them. Look, the 10 Commandments are the first collection of commandments that give rights to workers, okay, and have, indicate animal rights, because neither your worker or your animals are supposed to work on the Sabbath.
Right.
Okay. What you said about shooing the mother bird away if you're going to take the eggs, or don't kill the mother on the same day you kill the baby. Okay. I think it's talking about calves there and cows, but it could be mother birds and eggs, but I don't remember. But but you see my point that I'm making.
Sure. Right.
So he's missing the point if all he's going to see is the health issues.
Right.
God is not stupid. Okay, God wants us to keep kosher, so God is going to give us benefits for keeping kosher, and by accident, yes, it happens to also be healthier. But the purpose of the kosher commandments from God is not to make us healthier, it's to make us holier.
Gotcha, right.
In connection with God, responding to the commandments of God, bringing God into our lives, taking the mundane, the common, the profane, the typical daily, whatever you eat, you go about your business. No, you have to remember God when you eat. So you bring God into the equation because you're following God's laws when you're refraining from pig.
Right.
Okay,
right.
You're not eating the lobster or whatever. It's not for the sake of health. It's the sake for holiness.
Sure.
And you separate between life and death, and I think he's missing that in his equation, in his analysis of don't boil the baby goat in its own mother's milk. There's more to it than that.
It makes perfect sense too, because the whole concept of holiness is obviously throughout the Tanakh, and especially the commandments. And when it talks about a person becoming unclean, it doesn't just simply say wash and you're clean. It says wash and then you have to wait until sundown. So why wait? I mean, for me, when I wash mud off of me, I'm clean. But according to Hashem, there's a time period that has to lapse, and then when that time comes, then you have become spiritually clean again. So it's like there is a holiness factor to everything in the Tanakh. And so, like you said, to overlook the holiness part and try to isolate it to a scientific reasoning of some kind is actually short-sighted.
It misses the point.
Yeah, absolutely.
It misses the point of religion. Religion isn't about science. It never was meant to be. Religion is about morality and ethics, how we treat each other, how we treat our animals, how we treat God's creatures. Okay.
Wonderful.
Wait, and you just said something that struck another chord with me, and I should have. I really wanted to comment on it. What did you say again?
Just the amount of time. You're not just clean like when you wash, but at sunset.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, perfect.
Can I ask you to do me a favor?
Sure.
Every time you read a passage which talks about clean and unclean,
okay,
give it a different translation.
Okay.
I don't think they're talking about clean like cleanliness.
Okay.
I think they're talking about grossness.
Like Tameh versus...
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But don't translate it as pure, impure, clean, or unclean. Think of it... My congregants laugh at me when I always say this, but translate it as yucky.
Yucky. Cooties.
Yucky.
Spiritual cooties.
Literally. And you have to have time.
Okay.
Okay. You know how sometimes if you... pick up a cockroach that got into your house, okay?
I'm washing my hands. I don't give a daggone.
Exactly.
That's it. I'm washing up.
But William, if you allow time to pass, you're now separated from having touched the cockroach, even after you've washed your hands, and the feeling of yuckiness.
Yeah, because even after you wash your hands, you're psychologically connected to that yuckiness. So as time passes, you begin to forget about it even. So in a way, it really has a reprogramming
that's
factor.
God's genius in saying,
nice.
Wait till evening.
Yeah.
Feel the yuckiness until evening. But when the evening comes, okay, the time will have elapsed where you're no longer connected to your yuckiness, okay? And I think that's genius. I think that's brilliant.
That's cool.
Typical.
That's cool.
So every time people pure and impure, clean and unclean, a woman is not clean. It's not cleanliness. It's gross. It's yucky.
Right.
That's all what I'm saying here.
Okay, all the viewers out there, I want you to do something that, for some of you people who are not computer literate, you might freak out. Don't. Just be patient with me. The ones who are not are somewhat computer literate, go with me here. Kind of adjust your internet screen to where you can open up a new tab and type in a new web browser. I'm waiting for you for about 3 seconds, right? Open up a new tab, type in whatjewsbelieve.org and go there. Okay? I'll give you just a few seconds to go there, and while you're doing that, I'm going to try to pull it up on screen also. I think I've got one already set up for it, but if I don't, I'm going to have to tell my screen what to do, and I think I'm going to have to, so let me do that real fast. So, whatjewsbelieve.org. First thing I want to talk to you about is the app on the phone. It's Jewish Mission Control. I've talked about it about every third or fourth show. I really should be mentioning it every single show. It's just really, really a cool app. Let me go back here. Let me find it here because I've got it on my phone on the right screen. Okay. Wow, why do they have so many apps on these phones? That is really ridiculous. Okay, but anyway, it's called Jewish Mission Control. Maybe it's in alphabetical order here. G-H. There it is right there. Okay, it's like a white box, and it's got a blue stretched out Star of David on it. That's how you'll actually identify it if you've already got it. I wonder if I can actually... I don't think you can see this unless I zoom way in. But anyway, if you go to the website, you can see there's a lot of corresponding things on here. So, whatjewsbelieve.org. If you look at the website, and I'm not going to pull it up on screen because it's going to take me too long to actually do that, and I'll probably lose your interest by then. So, but on here you can see a lot of different things. One of which is Google Play Books, where you can find Judaism and Christianity: A Contrast. If you notice, right behind me here, if I can move out of the way, let me just reach over here and grab it. I hope I don't run out of cord, but I'm gonna run out of cord. No way, dude. I'm like 1 inch away from it. Oh, there. Okay, got it. Okay, this is a really cool book. It's an easy read. See how thick it is? It's about probably 9/16 thick, maybe 5/8 if you. Really, really awesome reading. Very easy to read. A super compact version, ultra compact version of Rabbi Singer's 2-volume book set, which goes super elaborate on everything. The contrast, not the similarities between Christianity and Judaism. The contrast. You need to know what the contrast is. Forget about the similarities. The similarities, they're important, but the contrast is more important. If you don't have this book, Amazon.com, you can look at it on this website. Let's see. Countdown to... No, I'm not going to restart. Change time. Really, guys? Man, my computer is trying to update on me right now, right in the middle of a show. Let me see if I can change the time. We'll make this 11 p.m. There we go. Check. Okay, close that out. Okay, good. But even at the website, even if you don't have Jewish Mission Control on your phone, which I recommend because everybody carries their phone with them, and when your colleagues at work ask you a question, you don't want to have to go home and try to find a book. You've got your phone. It's on here. Download the app on your phone. But you've got all these different cool questions. If you don't have it on your phone already and can't see it, just to give you an idea, as soon as I opened it up in great big print, all these different tabs you can punch on: dying for sin, blood sacrifice, Jesus not the Messiah, no human sacrifices, no original sin, God is invisible, Satan versus the devil, God is not human, Messianic Jews, etc., Christianity, Jewish roots, misuse of the Bible, all these different things. You tap on one, for example, dying for sin. You tap on that and it takes you to a really nice, there's more information on here than I remember. That's good. You want more information with scripture references, verses. It's a really excellent tool. You want to download this app on your phone.
William, thank you.
Yeah. And then the website, like I said, you can just explore the website. You can get the book on Kindle, but my wife would tell you Kindle's nice, but you really want to have the paper because you could smell the pages and write on them. And my wife is all about smelling her pages. Hey, I'm not a bookie. I'm not a bookie. I'm not a book reader per se. I like reading.
I heard you the first time.
Oh man. So anyway, with that said, Yeah, great resources, and a great book. Man, if you really have not read this book, Judaism and Christianity at Contrast, go find it. It's a real blessing. Fortunately for me, I know the guy who wrote it, so I have a few extra copies here. But you want to buy a few copies to keep it, because I'm telling you, you're going to have a neighbor, you're going to have a friend, you're going to have a relative. One of these days, you're going to say just the right thing to make them go, wait a minute. That may make a little bit of sense. That's when you want to give them a book. That's when you want to actually go further.
Yes, they talk a lot about planting the mustard seed of faith. There's also planting the mustard seed of doubt. Okay, now that your 20-minute commercial is over, I do thank you. I do appreciate it.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
No problem. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It was a spontaneous effort on William's part, and I do appreciate it. Thank you. That's in my Bible question mark.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Very good. Okay, cool.
Oh, I'd love to know what Michael deleted his message. I'd like to know what he retracted. Okay.
That's okay.
Let's see.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rabbi, I do have guests here. And we are pretty much about an hour.
Absolutely. Go right ahead. Enjoy your guests.
So for all you people out there, you can subscribe to TORAH Talk website, I think. I know you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also like the Facebook page, and whenever I post things, it should send you a little red balloon of love telling you what TORAH Talk is doing. And for those of you who don't know, we are trying to get me out of my wife's office into a studio. That progress is slowly moving forward. If you want to help it move a little faster, you can go to the website and look for the cute little PayPal button at the bottom. Donate $1, 50 cents, $10 million if you're rich. Hey, I'm not partial.
I wish I could, William. I wish I could.
You have okay. I won't say anything, but I almost did. So I just know
right.
You're an awesome rabbi. That's all I got to say. Okay, love you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I've had a blast. Rabbi, it's been so good seeing you, and I really have missed you tremendously. Thank you.
I miss you too. I miss doing this as well.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem, we're back, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. And for those of you who don't watch the other shows, I have to tell everybody we're on a every other week schedule. So we're basically 4 days on, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 10 days off. So every other week we'll broadcast. Tomorrow, don't miss it. I'm doing an interview with the gentleman who was an ex-pastor who moved from the Christianity movement into the Messianic movement and became a Messianic rabbi, and who has now, 7 months ago, left it all behind. Baruch Hashem. So I can't wait.
I hope he writes a book about his experience.
I can't wait. That's going to be great. I've spoke with him a few times a day, and it's really going to be nice. So, but again, ladies and gentlemen, you guys rock. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for participating on the YouTube page. I love seeing all the comments. And as always, be respectful to one another, even if I don't care if you're Muslim, if you're Christian. I welcome all you viewers. I mean, because a lot of Christians will come and they'll talk. Maybe they're missionizing. I don't care. As long as you're respectable, just be respectable and be peaceful. That's all I ask. So you can stick around as long as you want. But you start fighting, start saying crazy stuff and pulling out guns and stuff, I'm going to have to block you. So we don't want that. So you guys have fun with it. Key, study, be sincere, have fun, be respectable, and we're good with that. Rabbi, love you, man. It's always good to see you.
Love you too, William. Good seeing you, good talking to you.
Look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Shalom you, and shalom everybody. See you on the other side. Take care. Yeah, we got to do the finger dance before we leave. I don't know if I'm in sync with you. Wait. No, you changed it up on me. Take care, everyone. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Take care.